Yeah, thanks, David. Good morning. Good morning, Vicky, our participant who's managed to find us today.
Morning.
Yes, Zoom room shenanigans and online media stuff. Lovely to have you with us, and welcome to everybody who's watching this after the event on the recording. Sorry if you tried to find us and you were unable to. We've had a few technical glitches this week.
I posted the thing on my usual video on Facebook, and I checked just now and it's not loaded up on any of my channels or pages or anything, so I'm afraid yeah, the information didn't get out.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. But let's take our time anyway. It's all available, so let's take a moment to come into core, to come to center. Give ourselves a little bit of embodied connection time. So take a moment, noticing how it feels to be in your body in this moment. Noticing the quality of that experience with as little judgment as you can manage. My body is a bit still suffering from a long journey yesterday, so I can feel a certain discomfort in my body, in my embodiment, and that's okay. Being aware of your posture, finding your center of balance, comfortable, upright, relaxed position. And then purposefully relaxing through your core as much as you can. So relaxing your forehead and your eyes. Relaxing your jaw, letting your mouth hang a little bit open maybe. And your neck and shoulders. Down your torso, relaxing your back, and then softening down your front to your belly. And when you're ready, take a breath or two. Let it go. Another breath. And let it go. And take a little minute, a moment again to check in with any differences, any new awareness in your body, through giving it a little moment, a bit of time, a little pause. And it's a good opportunity also to decide what your end result for this time together is. What would you love as an end result from this embodiment session? I got the word reconnection. I don't know if anybody else got anything that they'd like to share.
Well, I know what we're going to be covering today, but I'm to play around with this embodied sense of service that we're going to be exploring. I'm kind of really interested to know what that brings up for me.
Beautiful.
I'm in the know, so.
Yeah, cool. And in the chat we have confidence. Beautiful, great end result. I wish that for you, and we'll work with you to create it. Okay, so covering as usual our values, to be really clear again and again that you are the boss of your body, and we have a strong value of self-responsibility and sovereignty, that anything that we suggest is that it's a guidance, it's a way that we've come up with to get a result that we anticipate for us and for you, but you know where you are today and where your body is, and also any limitations in your body. So for example, if we're doing a stance that keeps going a bit too long for you and you have a discomfort in your body, please don't just sit with that. Give yourself permission to move out of it, to toggle around, and then come back in to experience as much as you want to what's true for you. And also confidentiality. So holding this space as confidential, which Should be easy enough today with our small group. But each of us undertaking that we will hold each other's information as confidential. But please share whatever we share, please share some of the learnings you got, or the approaches to embodiment. Very happy for that to be spread around. Okay, so as David said,
I'm starting to get messages now coming through. Can't find the link.
Okay,
So I'm off doing that, so people might be coming in.
Okay, great. All right, that's lovely. Yeah, please give it attention. Let me also just plug in. I realize I'm a bit low. So as David said, we're going to start exploring, we're exploring the idea and the embodiment of service today. And in particular, one aspect of service that often might not be initially perceived as a service, which is the service of no, of having an embodied no in your relationships with people, in your interactions. Very often I know I have a wavering relationship with no. I can be very strong in it, and then I can want to avoid the conflict that I think is inherent in a strong no. And when I try to avoid the conflict is when things generally start to get sticky. So what we wanted to explore today was to start bringing in that sense of no being as part of our service. But to do that, we need to start exploring what service is in the body, because it's likely to be very different for different people. So if you'd like to, I'm just wondering, David, do you think people are going to start arriving?
They might do, but I mean, I'm sending things, but they may not. They may decide that they're not going to come. So
okay, all right. So won't hang around. Won't hang around for them. Just a moment, just to interest though. So Vicky, maybe what's your relationship with no yourself?
Yeah, okay, that's an interesting question. I would say that I'm similar to you, and I try to avoid conflict. I'm actually not so great about putting down boundaries. So if I feel like somebody is maybe being a bit cheeky and they're asking for me more than I want to give, instead of putting down a boundary, I will probably just run away.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, I definitely need to say no more, and I definitely need to put down clearer boundaries.
Yes, it's a shame, and particularly when that's business related, you don't
Exactly. Yeah.
It's probably not the best business practice to run away from potential clients. Oh, great! We've got people arriving. Good morning, Ginny. Good morning, Alison. So sorry for the mix-up, but it's lovely having you with us. Well done.
I'm so pleased to be here.
Well done. Well done. I'm going to very briefly outline what we do today before we get into the embodiment practice. So we're starting to explore the idea of service, and particularly the idea of no as being a part of service. But in order to do that, we suddenly realized we needed to go back a step and explore service to start with, because we probably all have very different embodied relationship with the idea, the concept of service and of our own service in the world. And to be just to give my take on service, I have a taught understanding of service that I've used for many years that's really worked for me, that service is a part of truth and love. So I try as much as I can to serve from a place of truth, but also from a place of love, because truth without love can be very harsh, and love without truth can be a little bit wallowing or soft, maybe sometimes too soft. And so I have a kind of triangle relationship with service. You may have something different. I just wanted to outline that in case it's of value to anybody. So let's begin and explore it ourselves through our bodies. So if you'd like to join me standing, and obviously the same always applies about your self-determinism of your body and your experience. So choose where you go with this. Make your own choices within it. Be powerful in your sovereignty. And it's so great to have you with us. So glad you found us. So take a moment to let's take a moment in that beautiful standing sovereign pose. Just a quick connection with it. So feeling your feet firmly, but if you can imagine, also fairly softly planted on the floor. And your posture upright from your feet, up through your knees, your hips, your shoulders in alignment, your head balanced easily on the top of your spine. And that sense of relaxation coming down your body. And then the idea or the possibility or the sometimes felt sense of that relaxation also bringing a lift back up from the earth to you wearing your crown, your sovereign sense of self. Notice your breathing and relax and breathe. And from here, take a moment to implant the idea of service into your body. What does service mean to you in your body? And as you sit with that idea of service, you may get ideas about it, but also begin to let your body move to reflect what you're experiencing about service in your body. And you might instantly go into something that's very obvious to you, or you may need to feel your way, repeating the word service, having a sense of what that is for you, and moving your body to reflect the idea or to more kind of automatically or within your body, just reflecting that in your cells, what service is and the shape it makes of your body. And that can be anything. Can look in any way. There's no right, there's no wrong. There's you and your experience of service, you and your embodied experience of service. Warm welcome to you, Greta. At the moment, we are starting from a standing position from our sovereignty, being with the idea of service and representing that in our bodies in any way that we get to. There might be movement, might be still. Don't let your body get too tired in one position. Feel free to move. Give me an indication, if you could just give me a hand signal that you have a sense of service in your body at the moment. A thumbs up or a middling one, okay? So it's fine just to work with where you are. Remembering that your head may have an expectation of what it should be like, but actually you might be there. But just work with what you've got, because usually that's enough. So what I would like to suggest is that within this embodiment of service for you, Like there are certain qualities, and David is going to have a kind of be a witness to some of the qualities that he's seeing on the screen in your embodiment of what service is. And we're going to start just questioning ourselves. Like I have my hand out here and I'm thinking, okay, what's that expressing? So are you up for that, David? That aspect of checking in with people?
How would you like me to do that?
Well, it was about looking at how people's bodies were and supporting people to find out or ask themselves. So for me, what's this hand? What does it say about service to me? It's about giving. I have my hand back here. It's almost got that fist, but not quite. The fist was too strong, but it feels like it's ready to follow through with something stronger.
Okay.
And you can be doing this for yourself. So your hands are open. What does that say to you about your service, your relationship with service? There's a heart-based offering from Alison. Like, what does that say about service? And good, really happy to see some of you moving. Just letting your body have its comfort as well as its exploration.
And Vicky, I'm noticing that you're sort of swaying from side to side slightly. So is that an intentional? You don't have to answer, but just for yourself, is that an intentional? And what does that represent? Yeah. Again, noticing for Alison the height you've moved now, but your chin lifting, rising. So is that, are you staying on center or are you losing your center?
Okay. So having had this experience of service in your body, we want to explore bringing no in as part of that service. So what happens if you start to explore the idea that no is a valuable part of service, that giving somebody a clear no can be a great service to you or to them or to the world? So inviting you to bring that no in some way in your embodiment, while still holding the overall theme of service in your body. And where that's taken you. And then also kind of practice making that no fairly strong. Yeah, Victoria, beautiful. You did it yourself. I saw your hand out here and thought, what happens if you bring that in more closely? Does that still hold service for you? Or can you hold that no and still hold the service in your body? And then maybe you want to swap over sometimes to give your hands a break or to give your stance a break or to try something different.
Just a point for Ginny that it might just be the angle, but that if you have your hand in front of your chest rather than off to the side, that might feel like a stronger boundary.
And then, for example, we some of us will know the no stance has this fist at your hip, and mine's still got this open-handed that I had in service. But I now want to explore what happens if I actually go into no pose with the fist and hold service even while strengthening the no of my pose. Is that You know, is that something I can hold in my body? Is it like, does one drive the other out? Is it something I can work with to explore the edges and the meeting points?
Looks like Alison's got a nice variation there with her palm facing in. So there's this
Oh, nice, yes.
boundary, and at the same time there's a softness.
So keep playing, by all means, keep playing those little adaptations that hold both of them.
Yeah.
If you want to take a break, take a walk, give yourself a little bit of movement, time out of it. Because when you come back, you might then get something a little bit different. So I come back and I have a very different experience of service. It's much more open and visible. I know it doesn't actually serve if I hide. My visibility serves my end results. It serves my clients. It serves the world.
Yeah.
And bringing no into that as well, like a sense of being visible in my no. How does that feel? Might not be comfortable, and it doesn't matter. Take that comfort to an edge that is good for you. You might want to pull it back a bit. You might want to play with the edge, get fiery and feisty with it and think, oh, that's a bit much. Bring some softness back in. I'm bringing softness back into my chest. It can be no, and I can still be loving.
Greta's got some really nice kind of, it looks like she's really exploring and inquiring about what feels right. She had sort of some double hand nose and then sort of hands like this, and it's a really nice exploration to see what's working for her.
Great, cool. So when you've had enough, a little bit of a shake your body back into normal, into your daily embodiment. And if you'd like to come back to the screen. And if anybody would like to unmute, or if you'd like to share in the chat your observations, your experience, be intrigued to hear. Alison, are you unmuted to share?
Oh, I can share.
Oh, please do.
I'm so pleased to be here. I had difficulty getting on.
That's
I was up in the middle.
bad.
Yes, I was up in the middle of the night with trying to get back to sleep, listening to Paul McKenna. Anyway, I'm here. And I found that so interesting, pertinent, because I've been going through a sort of little inner conflict because of it's to do with serving, but also the no and being truthful. And I found myself doing something totally unexpected that shocked me with my grandson the other day. At having, and it was partly because I'm still recovering from the COVID and was just tired, but I can't believe I'm going to say it, but I chucked a glass of water at him. He's 10 going on 80 something, thinks he knows everything. And there'd been an incident at the dinner table that was unnecessary. And I'd, not being well, had put all this energy, and then this thing happened to do with the water, and I just chucked water. I mean, it wasn't anything that was going to harm. I very quickly moved into, okay, let's put the timer on, you know, all this stuff. He went off and changed his clothes, but I felt such deep sorrow at what I've done that I haven't been able to let go of it. And so this came up beautifully with this whole idea of service, but being truthful. Because I also found in the car in the morning, I had to get really I'm going to stop in a minute. I won't go off on one, but I was trying to explain to him that when I speak with his younger brother, Frank, I'm doing it in trying to be kind. I'm not trying to put him down or tell him what he should be doing. I'm trying to be of service, if you like, because it's not just serving. And the whole thing, in fact, I had a rant at them about the water. I said, I'm not your servant. I love being with you, but I'm not
point well made.
your servant. So sorry, so I'm going to shut up there because I think it sort of speaks for
Beautiful,
itself.
Alison. Thank you so much for sharing, and so vulnerably and openly. Beautiful. It just shows there's a rich area for us to keep working with here, because these habits don't change in a moment. Ginny, I just wanted to hear from you if you wanted. Yes, David, I saw you on mute. David said you'd unmuted earlier. And did you want to share something?
Yes. So that was very beautiful. Really reached really like something cracked open here. And I realized I cannot go into service because I'm fucking afraid of it. So the first reaction of when you said service, go into service, I'm pretty sure David saw it, was my body just totally backing off into the other corner of the room. And it was so interesting. And it was all the other kind of explorations from there were not so manageable for me to do because I could not embody service. I was just regulating with the fear and the scarcity and the backing off and the shrinking in and the, oh my gosh, I would no, never ever will I go there. And that was really, really, really interesting. Like how much fear and scarcity and resistance there's to an extent that I cannot even explore service in my body. So that was quite a beautiful surprise and gave me a very nice hint what I can work on. Because of course that influences my life. I want to be in service to people, to my loved ones, to people I don't even know but that need help. Without being scared of it or without forcing myself into it. Or without thinking that as soon as I'm in service, me as a person, I disappear.
Yeah.
So, and I was wondering all the time why it is so hard for me. Sometimes it's really hard for me to do loving things for other people, even though I really love them. But sometimes it's just, wow. And I was wondering, and of course, sometimes blaming, all these other self-criticizing patterns, and so that was
that's beautiful
revelation.
Thank you again. Thank you. Really, there's so much in there, and our time is so limited in these sessions. So I hope we haven't opened anything that's unmanageable for you. So be kind. Be gentle with yourself. Want to really encourage you. I thank you for joining us in the rest. But do remember that if you have something like that going on, that you don't have to do anything more. If your job in this session is then just to go, okay, service has freaked me out, let's see if I can step into that a little bit without worrying about the other. That's exactly what we mean when we say, go at your pace or deal with anything that comes up for you. And also, please also, everyone, feel free to message us if you've got a big thing coming up, because we will always, one of us can take time or we will adjust to keep you with us. Very happily. We don't leave people behind. Is that fair enough to say, David? Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I mean, Ginny's written, I'd like to share and have some support. So yeah, if there's any support that we can offer you, then please reach out after the session. And I'm speaking for myself. I'm happy to speak with you and work with you if you'd like to.
Thank you very much. I'd be happy to do that. For the moment, it was also just important that I can share it, because I was shocked and surprised by the reaction of my body, by the intensity as well. So just sharing this and all of you listening is very soothing already. So thank you very much for being present. And
Beautiful.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Jeannie. Thank you, Alison. Thank you, everybody, for being here and holding the space for us all. You know, we've got the Facebook group. So again, if you want to message any of us through that, if more is coming up, please feel free to do so, to reach out. And thank you so much for your time here. Sorry for our technical problems with David's video not loading. You know, stuff happens. And we will close in our normal way, a bit later than normal, by unmuting and saying goodbye in any way you choose to say. It might be in service, it might be a fuck you to service. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, beautiful
Bye-bye.
people.
Bye.
Thank you.